Today, I'm going to be talking about myths surrounding routines. More specifically, I'll talk about 4 myths that I've heard around routines. Myth number 1, routines are too hard. The fact of the matter is, every time we try something new, it's going to feel strange and a bit uncomfortable. It's simply our brain signaling to us that we're veering from the norm. These new habits that become routines are worthwhile for your family because the more you do them and they become consistent, the easier life becomes. And who doesn't want that? It's one less thing you have to think about throughout your day or throughout your week because you just do them. The more that they become a routine and just something you do. Think about when you learn how to ride a bike. It feels clumsy and you feel awkward and you may fall, but you get back up and keep trying, and then suddenly it clicks and off you go. As an adult who knows how to ride a bike, you don't have to think about the mechanics involved when you get on the bike. You just go. Start with the end in mind. Think about the productivity and the predictability that an established routine can provide you and your family. How would an established routine in an area that you feel is out of control right now, how would an established routine make you feel? Use that feeling to motivate you to keep at that routine. You'll go from feeling strange and uncomfortable to feeling empowered and excited about the positive benefits that you see for you and your family. Myth number 2, routines are too restrictive. The truth is, routines help us prioritize what matters most to us. The more tasks that become automated through routines, the more brain power we can save for other tasks, and the less likely we are to experience mental fatigue. Routines do not mean that every day has to look the same. Routines mean you have a foundational framework to turn to on a daily basis or when chaos rears its ugly head. Routines can help you focus on a set of actions you've established and get them done at a faster rate the more you do them and the more they become a routine. So then you have more time to focus on other priorities in your life. Myth number 3, routines have never worked for me, so there's no use in trying them now. When you think back to the times you've tried to establish a routine, can you identify the reason you gave up? Did you try too many tasks within that routine all at once? Did you try to force your family to adopt a routine that was 180 degrees different than the way you were doing things? Did you talk about the routine plan with your family beforehand? Did you ask for their input before you decided on a final plan? These are questions you need to ask yourself with regards to failed attempts with routines in the past. Also, we all go through different stages and different seasons of life. Maybe the routine you tried to establish did not fit the season of life you were in. For example, if you tried to start a 5 a.m. wake-up routine when you had a 9-month-old whose sleep patterns were all over the place, it's going to be hard to sustain because it doesn't fit that season of life that you're in. Sometimes you're going to need that extra sleep. Assess what season of life that you're in and what routine you feel like you need the most help with. Then be realistic as to what you would like to see within that routine, the tasks you'd like to see, and the habits you'd like to establish. Don't try to do all the tasks at one time. Start small and take baby steps toward that full routine to decrease the likelihood that you'll throw in the towel, declare that you'll start again on Monday, and then Monday rolls around and you don't start again, and you're back to where you began. Myth number 4, routines will never work with an unpredictable schedule. Let's go back to basics here about routines. Routines are habits that are grouped together. Routines are not tied to a schedule. Routines do not have to take place at a certain time to be effective. Routines do not have to take a lot of time. A self-care routine can take less than 10 minutes. You get to decide what habits you deem important that you'd like to group together into a routine. Then you get to assess how you're currently spending your time and how much time you want to dedicate to this new routine. You know this new routine will bring your family more joy. Let's talk about unpredictable schedules. As an example, say you typically help your 3-year-old brush her teeth at 6:45 p.m., but that evening you're delayed because you're at an event. Say you're delayed 45 minutes. Are you going to not brush your child's teeth because you're delayed? Doubtful. Most likely you'll brush your child's teeth and do their bedtime routine. As an aside, it's a routine. Whether you call it a routine or not, we all have typical ways in which we handle bedtime routines with our kids. The truth is, the more unpredictable your schedule and the busier you are, the more important routines are to decrease feeling overwhelmed. Routines ground you and provide predictability even when life throws you curveballs. It's not about strict schedules and perfect routines. It's about a framework around a group of habits that you deem important for your life. The more you do these routines, the less brain power they involve, and the more peace they bring your family when you're not feeling fried at the end of another long day. You've got habits and routines in place that you don't have to think about and become mentally drained over. Also, moms know kids are not robots, and no one day looks the same. That's why it's important to throw in so much grace and flexibility within your routines. If you have a self-care morning routine, but you've been up most of the night with your sick child, don't just scrap the entire routine altogether. See if there's just 5 minutes during the day, just 5 minutes that you can dedicate to one of those habits within the routine that you can accomplish, that you know brings you joy. That would just take 5 minutes. To sum up, we've talked about 4 myths surrounding routines. Routines are too hard. Routines are too restrictive. Routines never work for me, so there's no use in trying them now. And routines will never work with an unpredictable schedule. I hope you can see now that these thoughts around routines simply aren't true. And you have the power to create routines for you and your family to thrive. Rhythmic habits grouped together into routines that work for you and your family has the wonderful potential to create more peace and joy in your home. Who doesn't want to experience more peace and more joy? What are some routines that you'd love to establish? One area I realized was dragging me down during the week was meal planning. I had ideas in my head, but I didn't take the time to think through those ideas to make our week easier and less chaotic when it comes to meals. I decided to take charge of this issue by creating a weekly meal planning routine. I utilized Trello for my meal planning routine. Trello is a free digital tool that allows you to easily create lists and view them from multiple devices. When I go to meal plan, I view tons of recipes that I've already loaded into Trello and move those into my week that I'm planning. Or I think up of ideas. These ideas might be as simple as throwing together some peanut butter sandwiches, wrapping them up and putting them in the freezer on a Sunday to use as easy lunch options throughout that week. Or it could be more involved. It could be a more involved recipe that I drag over from my already uploaded recipes if I have more time that week for something more involved. It's a planning tool and a routine that I've established that has been an ultimate time saver, money saver, and sanity saver for me. Are you looking to make meal planning easier? I have a free Trello meal planning template with the exact list categories that I use that you can utilize to create your own plan, add in recipes, and finally take control of the chaos around feeding your family. I also have an inexpensive paid option for this life-changing process that I've experienced that has been loaded with 358 recipes in easy-to-view categories. Each recipe includes pictures, ingredients, instructions, notes, and any applicable links to recipe sources. If you're new to Trello, no worries. I've created instructions on how to utilize the board. I'd love to help you overcome the myths that we've talked about today surrounding routines and help you lessen feeling overwhelmed so that you can have more joy and purpose. Get started now with this meal planning routine. Thanks for your time and have a wonderful day.